RV, RV, RV. Welcome to your nightmare, good sir. Fake Sagan, he was keeping us apart because he wanted you all to himself, but now he's done with you. So it's my turn. Hooray! First of all, I want to say how cool it is. I'm TJ, your RV. TJ, RV, TJ, RV. We both got 2 letters for names. That is sweet, isn't that? We're like twins. Before we get started, I should let you know my motivation here. Fake Sagan, he wants to change RV. He wants to make you into something you're not. Because you're something he's never seen before. Something that he probably didn't know existed. An intelligent, charming, racist douchebag. You blew Fake Sagan's mind. Your existence depresses him. He's admitted as much. But this isn't about Fake Sagan. This is about you and me. Your new best friend, the amazing atheist. You know, talking to you enables me to re-emphasize one of the most important points that I can think of, that I want everyone in my audience to understand. Evil, for lack of a better word, doesn't have horns, and a pitchfork and a long black cape, and torture people, Evil can be charming, can be funny, can be intelligent, witty, friendly, even kind. And I know what you're thinking, RV. You're thinking, what the fuck? He's calling me evil. I'm not evil. This guy's a douchebag. But before you judge, RV, you should know what my definition of evil is. My definition of evil is anything that acts as an obstruction to my ideal world. I think that if people were honest with themselves and did a little bit of reflecting, they would realize that that's their definition of evil too. That's my definition of evil, and I bet you that that's your definition of evil too, RV. You like to categorize things, RV. I'm gonna make a categorization right now. There are 2 kinds of people in the world. Now, of course, that's a huge oversimplification, but let's go with it. There are the individualists, who I will define as people who think for themselves. And there are the collectivists, who I will define as people who just go along with the group. Now, upon hearing both of those definitions, RV, I'm sure that you say, well, I am an individualist. I don't just go along with a group. I am only associated with the group that I'm associated with because they agreed with my philosophy to begin with. But RV, I submit to you that you are, in fact, a collectivist. Now, RV, you were in the military. You fought for Uncle Sam. You were a pawn of the oppressor. That shows the mentality of a collectivist. Now you might say, oh, that was back before my great enlightenment. But you know what? I never joined the military. I knew the military was bullshit when I was a fucking kid. Even if you say, well, I was only in the military for blah, blah, blah. It was just a social thing. Or it was just because, you know, that's what manly men do. Or whatever. You had a drill sergeant who barked orders at you and you followed them mindlessly. Did you not? That's collectivist behavior. But it's in the past. But here's some collectivist behavior that I've noticed right here and now. Now, you were talking about the Old West, RV. I don't know if you're a Western fan like I am, but I love the Old West. I mean, I don't know if I would really love the actual Old West, but I sure love the idealized version of it. Cowboys and Indians and showdowns at high noon, bank robberies, gun smoke, brothels with bullet holes in every wall. But you were talking about the Old West, you were saying, someone calls you a liar. You take your gun and you boom, you shoot that motherfucker down. And, you know, the way I understand it, the judge at that time would say, well, that was a fair fight. And that's how it should be, god damn it. Now, RV, I don't know, maybe you're just saying that shit like I say it sometimes. Like, I just had a video the other day where I was talking about how I feel like I should have the right to beat the shit out of a guy who's talking in a movie. There's a visceral, animalistic part of my brain that's like, I wish I could just beat that motherfucker down. But on an intellectual level, I don't really believe that shit. Do you? Do you believe that on an intellectual level, RV? That you should have the right to shut up people who insult you. Because if you do, then that is silencing dissent. And that is another sign of a collectivist. Now, maybe you're just talking about people who insult you without merit, in which case I can understand. You know, if there's some idiot that doesn't have anything worthwhile to say, and he's just like, well, fuck you, you fucking suck, blah, 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 and you want to shut him up in some way, I can kind of understand that. But isn't the whole shooting him thing a little harsh? Maybe just a little bit much, RV? Does he really have to die just for being a douchebag to you? It seems a little extreme to endorse. I mean, do you really endorse that? Now, RV, I want to talk to you about your anti-Semitism, and then bring it back around to your white nationalist diatribe. Well, the first thing you do is you rally against all the power that the Jews have. The Jews are so powerful, and look how they run the banks. That means there's a secret Zionist conspiracy controlling the world. Do you want to know why there are so many Jews who are bankers, RV? This starts around the 7th century, and it continues on until about the 14th century. The Jews migrated to Europe. Now, they were not allowed to own farms, okay? They couldn't grow anything because they couldn't own land. You can't own land, you obviously can't be a fucking farmer. So they tried to be merchants, but the Christian merchants crowded them out. And of course, when you live in a Christian theocracy, of course the Christians are going to get favoritism. So what the Jews did was they became moneylenders. Now, in a mercantile society, moneylenders are a necessity, but the church didn't allow money lending for its parishioners, which encompassed the entire population, except for the Jews. So money lending was basically the only job they could do, and they got good at it. But, of course, debtors hate their creditors, so every time there was any sort of social upheaval, everyone blamed the Jews, because of course, everyone owed the fucking Jews money. When you owe someone money, they make a convenient fucking enemy. So what you have there is the beginning of your fucked up conspiracy theory that the Jews are out to get you, and the beginning of the Jews being tied to finance-related fields. You have a Jewish banker because his father was a banker, and his father was a banker, and his father was a banker, and his father was a banker, so on and so on until you get down to the money lenders of the 7th through 14th centuries. So there's a perfectly logical explanation for why the Jews are so powerful in the financial sector, and there's a perfectly logical explanation for why you hate them. And that is the ultimate proof that you're a collectivist. Because your grudge against Jews is based upon something that happened in the Middle Ages, and only happened because the Christian church gave the Jews no other choice. But I told you I was going to bring the whole anti-Semitism thing back to your overall racism. You have rallied, sir, against the state of Israel, because it's an all-Jewish state. Those Jews just went in and took over. But what is your ideology again? You're a white nationalist. You want to form an all-white state. Now, how do you plan on doing that, RV? Are you going to peaceably requisition a piece of land and kindly ask all of the minorities to move away? That doesn't seem very likely. It seems to me that when you talk about white nationalism, you expect a fucking war. You expect to take a piece of land and say, all the niggers out. All the fucking spics, get out. And if you don't get out, we're going to kill you. And that's exactly how Israel was formed. You hate the Jews for doing exactly what you want to do. And that shows everyone your hypocrisy. Your glaring, obvious fucking hypocrisy, RV. You are a collectivist hypocrite, RV. And I hope that your video doesn't get flagged. I hope that the citizens of YouTube will allow us to have this exchange. I really look forward to it, RV. I really fucking do. Amazing Atheist. Peace the fuck out.